He is a doctor but also a keen collector of basketball memorabilia that dates back to the 1910s. Yes, believe it or not, he possesses not just precious sports treasures but also a bank of priceless basketball history. Please welcome to the BNC studio, Dr. Michael Rico Mesina. Doc Mico,
Hi.
Good evening to you at maraming salamat at napunta ka dito sa wakas sa The Scorecard. Welcome.
Yes, good evening, Sir Anton, and thank you for having me here at the Scorecard. Finally.
Ayan. Doc, matagal na tayo nag-uusap, trying to set this up. Finally, natuloy na tayo. You have your basketball treasures here. Pero bago natin puntahan yung mga yan, I just wanna the viewers to get to know you a little bit. You're a doctor. Ano po ba ang specialty nila?
Okay, so my specialty is that of a radiologist.
Okay.
So basically, what we do is we interpret the medical images of patients and also we make sure that the patients are safe while doing those procedures.
Okay, and you were telling me prior to going live, you're a Thomasian from UST.
Yes, for my pre-med, I had it at the University of Santo Tomas.
Yun.
And for my medical school, I had it in Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila at PLM.
Okay. So, from doctor, this is sort of like a sideline for you, pero ginawa mo na rin parang buhay. It's part of your daily life. You actually have various segments with a different network. Doc Mico, tell us about paano nagsimula yung pag-collect mo nitong mga basketball memorabilia.
So actually, the collecting started when I was a kid.
Okay.
So my titos brought me to Reyes Gym. So that's where the PBA teams practiced before, most of the PBA teams. And then my titos, they were introducing me to the different legends at that time. So Alvin Patrimonio, Jerry Cordillera, Lastimosa,
Okay.
Abarrientos. So from there, my interest on basketball and the PBA started.
I'm just happy na naalala ko pa yung mga pangalan na binanggit mo kasi as you have mentioned and shared with me, karamihan sa mga memorabilia dito from the 1910s pa.
Yes.
Okay, what else, Doc? How did this passion continue to burn and tinuloy mo talaga yung pangongolekta nito mga memorabilia na to?
So when I was a kid, I started collecting magazines, actually, sports magazines.
Okay.
Because I wanted to know more about my basketball idols. But during the pandemic, so I had some free time so that I can pursue my passion projects. And from there, nag-evolve na yung pangongolekta ko, naging memorabilias na, not just magazines. And then from there, from the 90s, kasi batang 90s tayo.
Yes.
So from there, nag-time travel na ako pabalik. So from the 80s down to the 70s and back to the origin of basketball here in the Philippines.
Okay, so take me back, way back to the 1910s. Nag-uusap tayo, I asked you, Doc Mico, ano ba yung pinakalumang basketball memorabilia? And we have here an actual basketball from the 1910s.
Yes.
How did you preserve that? Kasi sapatos nga lang, pandemic shoes, nasisira. Pero yan, how did you preserve that ball from the 1910s? That's a century old, over a century old.
So I got this from a antique collector.
Okay.
So based on the story of the antique collector, this ball was found in a local school in the province.
Wow.
So ginigiba na yung eskwela nun, tapos sa PE department, doon nakita yung bola.
Wow.
So kaya ang nangyari, na-preserve yung bola kasi nakatago lang siya in the department for such a long time.
And it survived so many eras. Wow, okay, I'm a little bit, medyo mabigat siya, ha?
Yes.
Mabigat.
And then if you notice, the struts or yung tahi nasa
parang
labas.
football, ah.
Yes.
Ganito yung tahi sa football, eh. But this is what they used to shoot before.
Yes, so
Wow.
that's reflective of the type of game they played before. Kasi it's more on passing, it's more relying on passing to move the ball from one place to another instead of dribbling.
I feel like this is kind of like a cheat code, itong mga nakastitch dito. Kasi kung shooter ka, syempre lalagay mo yung mga daliri dito para nakasukat.
Yes.
Okay, napansin ko, Doc, itong mga jerseys na to, parang sando lang.
Yes.
Ano ba itong mga jerseys na to?
Okay, so let's start with the one at the middle.
Yeah.
So if we take a look at it, yan, Sir Anton.
Ayan.
You can see
so
that
it's not totally sando kasi may konting parang stretchable material.
Yes. So if you can see there's the number and then the insignia of the Republic of the Philippines on top. So that's actually a game-worn jersey during the 1960 Rome Olympics.
Rome Olympics, sinong player to?
Edgardo Roque po.
Edgardo Roque, number 15. So isipin nyo, kung naglalaro po si Junmar Fajardo noong 1960s, ito po yung magiging jersey niya. Number 15. Batak siguro tignan ni The Kraken dito. Okay, this one, I'm interested in this one, Doc.
Yan. So actually, this picture is a very historic one. So it's a picture of the national basketball team.
1954. Grabe.
So it's one of the most important years in Philippine basketball because at that year, we won the Asian Games and then we proceeded to the World Basketball Championships
Okay.
where we placed third.
Wow.
And then if you see the player numbered 14,
Okay.
so that's actually the big difference, Sir Kaloy Loizaga.
Kaloy Loizaga. Yeah, I see his memorabilia when I go to San Beda. The
Yes.
big difference, number 14. Grabe.
And then if you look at the picture, there's a signature at the bottom and
Okay.
at the jersey area of Sir Kaloy.
That's him.
Yes,
Yan,
so that's an
Loizaga yung
autograph
nakalagay
picture
dito.
of Sir Kaloy Loizaga and the rest of the
Okay.
winning team back then.
I want to ask you, Doc Mico, since you're very familiar with the history, what happened to Philippine basketball? Bakit nung araw umaabot tayo sa Worlds and then now, we're having a hard time despite having all the resources and all the talents? In your opinion, what happened?
Well, I think one factor is the lack of preparation.
Okay.
So since we have many professional leagues, for example, the PBA, of course we have to respect the schedule of the PBA and also the other leagues. So if we are going to form a national team and we want to prepare them for a long period of time, medyo mahihirapan kasi they need to fulfill their responsibilities to their respective mother teams.
So it's like a commitment issue. They're divided, so they have to figure out the priorities. Ganon.
Yes,
It's a
lalo na
priority
ngayon,
issue.
Sir Anton, yung
Yeah.
ibang mga players natin, many of them play abroad na.
Oh, correct.
In the B-League and then the other leagues around Asia.
Ang galing, may picture ka pa sa PBA Rush. Asi Taolava, and then earlier, nakita natin the Bill Velasco over here, Willie Miller, Papa Bear
Yes.
earlier. Okay, since napag-usapan na natin yung PBA, before we end our interview, kasi sa lahat ng mga PBA fans dito, this coming April, it's gonna be the anniversary, right, of the PBA's 40 or 50 greatest ba?
This April will be the 50th anniversary,
50th anniversary of the PBA.
Yes.
Okay. Kaya magkakaroon sila ng PBA's 50 greatest because right now, it's PBA's 40 greatest. So they're going to add 10 players to that list para maging 50 greatest. So right now here on the show, before we end, we're going to talk about this list right here. 5 players na feeling natin dapat makasama sa PBA's 50 greatest. And this is a very controversial topic, lalo na nung PBA's 40 greatest, may mga players na hindi nakasama.
Yes.
So we will discuss Doc Mico's 5 players. This is actually Doc Mico's list. I-intro ko lang po because Doc Mico is more knowledgeable about the history of the PBA. So simulan natin dito. Number 5, ang tira nito, old school talaga, ang hirap i-block. One of the greatest power forwards in the history of the PBA. Give it to me right here. It is the Hawk, Bong Hawkins. Yan.
Okay, so the Hawk, he's a second pick overall by Presto. Pero syempre nakilala siya sa Alaska as part of the Grand Slam winning team. So may interview nun kay Tim Cone. So he said that Jolas was the captain.
Yes.
Johnny was the best player in that team. But he also said that the Hawk is the most important player in his system.
Grabe, a
in
classic
Alaska.
pivot man. Napanood ko pa to. Yung number 4, hindi ko na napanood. I actually play basketball with his son, Manny Victorino, at number 4. Ano ba yung laro ni Manny Victorino? I hear he was a legendary big man, Doc.
Yes, actually he was once hailed as like the next coming of a Ramon Fernandez.
So mala skyhook din yung tira niya.
Yes, and also during the mid to late 80s, the PBA had a rule wherein 4 players cannot play for the same team.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Manny
He was
Victorino
one of
was one of them.
Okay,
Yes.
para magkaroon ng balanced teams, parity
Yes.
in the PBA. Okay. Number 3. Now, this is a guy na napanood ko pa. Kasi paborito kong player, si Vergel Meneses.
Yes.
So, I know this guy, Yoyoy Villamin. He does all the dirty work on the boards.
So actually, Yoyoy Villamin has it all: longevity, He played for 19 years in the PBA.
19 years, grabe.
Won
Tibay.
several championships for different teams, but he was also part of the second Grand Slam of Crispa. And also he was a multiple-time mythical team member and was also part of the rule wherein the 4 players cannot be together in the same
okay,
team.
so yun. I don't, wow, hindi pa sila kasama sa 40 despite having them part of the rule.
Yes, so the other 2 pala for our audience
Yes,
is
yes.
Ramon Fernandez
Ramon
and
Fernandez.
Abet Gidaben.
Abet Gidamen.
So they're the
Okay.
big 4 back then who
Okay.
cannot be playing for the same team together.
Okay. Number 2, eto, this was a very controversial issue, the entry of the Phil-Ams. And then people were saying some were Phil-Shams, but Danny Cignal, grabe, yung tira nitong si Danny Cignal, kakaiba eh. He shoots it from the right side, but grabe, very explosive player itong si Danny S.
So kung yung mga fans natin, di ba, pag tumitira, Kobe. So back then, for the PBA fans in the late 90s and the 2000s, Danny Cignal, so ganun
kakaiba
yung
talaga eh. Nakabend
ano
pa yung
nila,
knees eh.
yes.
Yeah.
And also is one of the best ever players never to win an MVP. Is a 10-time PBA All-Star and also is a 4-time PBA Finals MVP.
Napapanood ko pa si Danny S. Silang dalawa ni Danny I sa San Miguel winning championships left and
Yes.
right. All right. This one right here, number 1. Dapat makapasok na to. It will be an outrage kung hindi siya makasama sa PBA Top 50. I used to watch this guy, one of the most devastating power forwards in the history of the PBA. Give it to me right here at number 1. Bam! The Bull, Nelson Asaytono. Doc Mico, take it away.
Nako, siguro, Sir Anton, magwawala ang internet pag hindi pa nakasama si Sir Nelson ngayong time na to sa PBA na 50 greatest. So, what can I say about Sir Nelson? He's actually the 5th best scorer in PBA history, number 5.
Tapos hindi pa nakasama sa top 40. Ano ba yan?
And he has it all. Championships, mythical team selections, MVP lang ang nagkulang kay Sir Nelson.
Yeah, 'cause
but undoubtedly, he should be part now of the 50 greatest
Yeah, I
player
feel like
list.
back in the day, sa kaposisyon niya, si the captain Alvin Patrimonio. So both of them were always battling it out for those MVPs.
Yes, but during that time, na-edge out siya ng konti ni Kapitan Alvin Patrimonio.
So eto yung mga players na feeling namin top 5 should be in the
Yes.
PBA's 50 greatest when the PBA announces the list very, very soon, di ba? Before the 50th anniversary on April 9.
Yes.
All right, Doc Mico, maraming salamat sa
Thank you
oras.
so much,
Thank
Sir
you for
Anton.
the time and sharing with us a little bit of history pagdating sa PBA.
Thank you.